This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. Find all my work at mgmunoz.com. Welcome to Fully Operational, my Star Wars analysis platform. Visit mgmunoz.com/FO for notes and links, and don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment to help me grow. So I'm talking about Mandalorian Chapter 14, I believe it is, which is entitled The Tragedy, and it's Season 2, Episode 6. It was written by Jon Favreau and directed by Robert Rodriguez. The only thing I know Robert Rodriguez from is that I think he did a bunch of like shoot 'em up crazy movies, and he did that one with Tarantino called like Roadkill or Roadshow or whatever, with those women who like, there's like cars and women with like machine gun parts or whatever. And I think one of them shot stuff out of her knee, kind of like a Cyborg in Cyborg 009 by Shotaro Shinomori, but more relevantly, kind of like it looked like Boba Fett had like knee rockets or like whistling birds in his knee armor or whatever. That was pretty cool. So yeah, I guess I'm getting into full spoilers right away on this episode. First of all, it was a great episode. I loved it. You should definitely watch it if you haven't yet. And I'm sorry I spoiled something for you. Like, go watch it right now. But I'm sure you're not. So I'm sure you're not being spoiled. So we're good to go. Anyway, this episode was really interesting. I kind of want to set my expectations. I kind of gave a mocking reply to what's his name? Hello Greedo the other day. He was like, imagine if none of the leaks had happened. Imagine if we didn't know Ahsoka was coming, because we've known about it for so long, and just the delight of the experiencing this thing for the first time. And I said, you know what? I responded with something like, imagine if this, imagine if that, which basically boiled down to, imagine if you could watch, every time you watch something you loved, if you could erase all your memories of it and watch it again for the first time. And, there's been plenty of amnesia stories in sci-fi. Who knows? Maybe, like Wade, you would no longer be the same person, and you would no longer, that's a Total Recall Schwarzenegger reference. Anyway, I never read the original story, I didn't see the new movie, so, excuse me. Anyway, but you never know. If you reset all your memories of something, maybe you wouldn't enjoy it. But my larger point is, once you've watched something that has surprises and twists and turns and things like that, if they're authentic, if they are true to the characters and to the story, and they're not just like a novel one-time, jump scare, flashbang in the face, I think they will continue to have an impact, and they will continue to be a big deal for you, and to be a positive to the story, and be something that enriches the story, or whatever, the story of whatever it is you're reading. So, for an example, Luke on I knew that Luke, or Vader, I knew the relationship between Vader and Luke when I watched Empire Strikes Back again and again and again. Still, Hamill's performance at that, the fact that he jumps off, and the fact that Vader looks sad for like a beat after he descends into the pit or whatever, presumably to his death, there's pathos there, there's feeling there. It makes me think about it a little bit more every time I watch it. And then when Revenge of the Sith happened, and Anakin asks Padme to join him and they'll rule the galaxy together, that also got me, because it called me back to a moment that I was spoiled on. The moments built upon each other. And then, when you have things that rhyme, it makes them even more impactful. So I'm not saying, so then when I went back and watched Empire Strikes Back after watching Revenge of the Sith at some point, I was even more impacted. Wow, this really is just like Anakin reaching out and calling for Padme to join him. These things work together. They are, like Lucas says, they rhyme, but they echo each other, and it's both elements or instances of Anakin, or that good part of Anakin maybe, or maybe it's the lonely human part of Vader reaching out and trying to grasp onto somebody for something. And then maybe, is he really reaching out? Is he calling to Luke and wants to accept her, or him, and wants him to join him because he misses Padme, and that's a part of Padme, and that's why he might cherish this son who he could otherwise kill or whatever. Like things like that get me about stories, and rewatching stories and thinking about stories again and again and again. There's something rich about being able to enjoy that. And it's not like, there's a guy I know who talks about marriage and being in a relationship with your spouse. He says, you want to eat the same thing every day for the rest of your life? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you eat the same thing. Never changes. Well, don't know about you, but I don't eat in that way every single day. And every time I do eat the same meal, I enjoy it. And as the years have gone on, it's become more enjoyable, not less enjoyable. So, I don't know, this guy's like 30 years older than me. So maybe after 30 years, things start to, get bad or whatever. But, I don't know. To me, going back and be able to watch this, and I'm watching this without my kids. For some reason, I can never get my kids on track to watch anything or read anything quickly with me. It always takes like a year to read or watch something. Anyway, except for Spider-Gwen, but that did take like 2 months. Anyway, I'm looking forward to when I watch it and watch it with them, seeing exactly how they enjoy it and what they think about the episode and what's going to happen. And they all love Grogu. Of course, he's, adorable. So, what's not to love? But it'll be interesting to see like how they handle him being in danger, how they handle him being abducted by those dark troopers, which definitely do look like droids more than men. Those Tuskens walk like men, but they're monsters. Anyway, so like I'm looking forward to experiencing it again for a second time. And, while my kids are enjoying it for the first time, I'll be able to pick up on nuances on stuff that I hadn't seen before, and I'll be able to enjoy it in a different way. And I will deepen my relationship with the episode, knowing the, tragedy, knowing what it is, knowing the Razor Crest is destroyed, knowing Grogu is abducted, knowing that Fennec, which I like that name. I've always liked that name. I like it even more now. Fennec and Fett are going to be working with Din to get back, and potentially Mayfeld and other people in order to get back with Grogu, to get Grogu back from the Empire or this Imperial remnant, and specifically Moff Gideon. So this is super exciting stuff. I'm not done. I'm just pausing real quick. So I had a bit of an opportunity to listen back to what I was saying just now, and it turns out I'm not talking about this episode specifically. I've mentioned things that have happened in the tragedy, but I just want to, so I want to stop. I want to reflect on what actually happened and why I thought it was so impactful. So, but before I do that, I do want to talk about how pregnant with possibilities this is. Is this going to be the plot of season 3? I had speculated before that the longer they keep Grogu in their possession, the more midichlorians are going to be able to pull out of him. Blood regenerates. Midichlorians should regenerate in that blood as well if it lives in the cells, and that's how at least human physiology works. Or that's how physiology in this galaxy works. So I don't know about in a galaxy far, far away, but we'll see. I mean, it would make sense for them to go as close to that as possible. But anyway. And then also with all these, lore people talking about how, Eckhart, Slatter, and Corey's dad, and Alex from Star Wars Explained mentioning how, there's multiple phases of the Dark Troopers. We could see those in the future, because this looks like it's just phase 1, and they look very droid-like, and I guess they got more humanoid or cyborg-ish as time went on. Anyway, speaking of cyborgs, Fennec Shand, is she like a cyborg now? Does she have a cyborg gut? Is that what Boba gave her? I don't know. It's a little hard to tell. Obviously, he healed her, but she showed the mark, this weird, looked like a bunch of wires and stuff where she got hit. So, very interesting. Anyway, is that going to be the plot of season 3, or are they going to somehow wrap it up over the next 2 episodes? Because it's two more, 7 and 8, that they're going to be able to go Spring Mayfeld and then use him. Because I guess he was supposed to appear in this season. I heard from spoilers that didn't ruin it for me. Anyway, sorry. I have no problem with spoilers at all. They don't affect me. If they affect you, I understand. I'm sorry that you're not as powerful as I am. But, different strokes. And everybody's different. It takes all types, I guess, is what I really mean to say. Not different strokes. Anyway, I think it's because I approach it as a story, and I like stories to be well constructed and well written and so well done, so well made that you can go back to them again and again and again, which is a thing I do sometimes. I at least mull them over and think about them after I've seen them or read them or whatever. And I think about all the details of them and how they interconnect. Not like I'm as obsessed with the structure being mechanically sound, but it needs to be mechanically sound. But overall it has to be an enjoyable story. That's the main focus, and it has to do what it does well. But I just feel like if it does what it does well, and I like it, and I feel like I'm a pretty selective person, it's going to be good, and it can be explored over and over and over again, or experienced over and over again without losing its edge. Anyway, so what I'm saying is it going to be that over the course of these next 2 episodes, they're going to be able to pay off their debt to Din and take her back, take Grogu back? Is Mayfeld going to help with that in the ultimate episode? Is the penultimate episode going to be springing Mayfeld, or is it going to start with they've sprung Mayfeld and they're going off? I doubt that, but it's interesting because when we went back to whatever his ship is called, and we saw Moff Gideon there, and they were in hyperspace, it almost felt like this moment showing you the stars the way we are, or showing you hyperspace the way we are, is communicating to you, the audience, that this is moments after they jump to hyperspace, after Boba lost track of them, or they darted off after he saw it was an Imperial ship. That's what it communicated to me. I don't know about anybody else, but that's what it felt like. It felt like the way it hung on that first moment of showing them in hyperspace, like, oh, we're going back to that point and we're picking up with it, and that's really interesting. Anyway, so who knows where they're going, but that doesn't matter for now. I just think it's going to be interesting how much time they have with Grogu, how much blood and midichlorians are going to be able to get out of him, and how they're going to be able to, manipulate that. Like, everything's playing into Gideon's hands right now. It's really interesting to see what exactly happens. I bet they're going to be able to get a ton of M count blood that they need. And I think this is cool because it's people were confused about, like, who's the donor? Is Palpatine the donor? Is the donor the people in the vats or whatever? I always understood donor to be, and I just didn't say it at the time, like a, he's a volunteer. He's here because he wants to be. He wants to be helpful to the Empire. No, that's not what Grogu's about. He was abducted and taken against his will and all this stuff. So, I don't know. Super, super interesting. But speaking more about this episode and everything it held, I just thought, first of all, I want to go back to the fact that this was written by Jon Favreau. I could have sworn that this was written by Dave Filoni because I feel like the understanding of who Boba Fett was very insightful, and there was a lot there. I love that we got answered for us the question that the Mandalorians, or apparently that Jango Fett was a foundling, and that the armor went down to Boba, that his chain code was in there and everything, proving it to Din, and that Din's happy to let him have it. I thought that was pretty cool. Even though I guess the fact that he fought in the Mandalorian Civil War was enough to get him the honor he needed and get him like a pass on not being a follower of the way, or a child of the Watch, or whatever you want to call him. So I thought that was pretty cool that happened with Din. Gosh, just some random comments. Navarro looked really beautiful when they landed on it at the end. It was awesome to see the Slave One in action again, and it's super exciting. I'm just going to jump around, because, you watch the episode, you know the plot, you know the implications. I've probably really, in jumping around, I probably mentioned everything relevant that I could on those things, and revisiting them will only cause us pain and suffering. So, I was amazed. I loved the assault, or the attack, the Stormtrooper assault, both when they were coming real hard out of those transport ships at Din and Fennec and Boba, and that was really cool. Seeing them swarming like that, seeing that one commander with the pauldron, like, telling them, like, keep going, go, 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 and seeing that he survived so much of the battle and stuff, and then there was the guy dropping in the ordnance to, like, the little cannons to hit Shan, like, that was all super cool. The fact that she took them all out with the boulder was really dope. But so, like, the military, the gunfight, the firefight stuff happening there was super cool to see, and just, it felt very different. I liked the terrain was different. They were on those, that funky, Tython terrain, and the guys were going uphill for the most part, but then at some point they got above her, and Shan was going up, running different areas, and she did that cool thing where she jumped off and hit 2 of them while she was, dropping down like 15 feet or whatever, and then she, tucked and rolled, and then was ready for more guys. Like, her action was super cool. She, she's earned her spurs, or like I know she's already accomplished, but like I get it now. Like I really, really see why she's such a cool bounty hunter or assassin or whatever she was, and that's like super dope. I love that. I think it's awesome. We've got a great gunslinger or whatever added to the roles along with Boba Fett, and it was amazing seeing Boba Fett in action, both out of his armor and in his armor. I loved seeing the brutality. That's like a Durfee he's swinging around, right? With the spike on it and everything. It's like heavy. He's dragging it at one point. That was so cool how he was dragging it, showing the weight of that weapon, and then just seeing how he wrecked the stormtroopers. It was really impressive. I loved the shattering of their helmets and the, lots of parts of their armor. And we saw a little bit of that with the armor when she was fighting the stormtroopers too. But I think, Boba's bigger. He's got a bigger weapon that he's using at the moment. It was just a different moment. A different scene and everything. So it felt a little different, and it felt like it had a harder impact. And it was really awesome. I just like his brutality was honestly, it was a little intimidating, scary. And it's like, oh man, no wonder this guy's like one of the greatest bounty hunters. He's the legendary Boba Fett. And then when he got close to the Razor Crest and he looked at it, and then they cut away, I thought, well, what's going to happen? Is he going to fly it? Is he going to, pick off these stormtroopers? Is he going to go protect Grogu? He got his armor back, and he was brutal and efficient. And it was amazing. Although, I really loved the gag that he took out both ships on accident because he was aiming for one and hit the other. I don't know if Boba was serious, if he was joking, if he was being humble, what the heck that was. But that was amazing. I thought, there's no way he's going to take out both ships, right? And then, sure enough, it happened. And we got to see which one he was targeting. I didn't go back to check to see if the one he was targeting on his heads-up display was the one that actually got hit, or if it was the other one, and then it accidentally brought down the second ship. But that was super cool. And that was a good, funny moment. And it's like, this guy's a really rad dude. He's like a very efficient and, skilled warrior. And we get to see him, plying his skill, plying his trade. And then it turns out like, that last one, that was an accident. That was funny. I really liked that. But yeah, it was so cool to see him. And it's so like, to see Tamara Morrison get to be Boba Fett is just so pleasing to me. And I remember years back, because I've been in this Star Wars game for a while. In fact, I've been actively listening to like a Star Wars podcast every week for, since like 2007. I don't know if that's sad or if that's cool. What am I doing with my life? I'm glad I've chosen to do like daily, not devotionals, but like I'm reading Psalms and Proverbs every day. To help moor me and help anchor me and center me spiritually, so I like never drift away. And I guess I needed that. Anyway, I've been involved for that long, and over the years, when Boba Fett came up, and who is Boba Fett? He should be the man with no name, and we shouldn't know who Boba Fett is. And Boba Fett's in the Sarlacc pit. Somebody else should come and take the armor and become the new Boba Fett, and we should never know who he is, and we should never see his face. You're basically getting the faceless, bounty hunter guy in The Mandalorian. Hey, you can be happy now. Oh no, we've seen his face once. Very sad. No, it's not that sad. It's okay. It's okay, guys. There are people who talk about Yoda's species being a mystery. Like, we shouldn't know Yoda's last name. We shouldn't know what planet he comes from. I know there's Yaddle, but Yoda should be the last of his species. Oh no, there's Grogu. I hope we don't see a whole planet of Yodas. That would be terrible. It would ruin the mystery. Knowing anything about them would ruin it. I don't understand this. Oh, learning all this stuff about Boba Fett, Jango Fett. He's a clone of Jango. Oh, no. It ruined everything. Now we know who Boba Fett is. We can't project ourselves onto the blank slate of that Mandalorian armor and pretend that we're that guy because we can see him, even though I'm 800 pounds and Boba Fett clearly is like maybe 200 at the most without his armor on. Or I'm 100 pounds and I would crack in that armor. Like, I don't understand, and that was, I'm sorry, that was needlessly insulting, but I just don't understand the desire or the need for characters to be mysterious just for the sake of being mysterious, and then you can imagine all these things about them. Life has consequences. Things are real sometimes, and sometimes you have to deal with the fact that you don't get your expectations met, and sometimes you have to deal with the fact that this individual who is so cool in so many ways has these flaws and these traits that you don't like, and it makes them more human. I mean, I enjoy watching Boba Fett super, commando, Mandalorian mercenary who I know nothing about and who just gets to be really awesome. But like even in the Mandalorian, even in the Boba Fett stories before we knew much more about him, like I don't know, the Armor Wars or not. That sounds wrong. I know I read a book with Boba Fett in it that he featured heavily. It could have been Tales from Jabba's Palace and stuff. But like it was still cool not knowing that much about the guy and getting to sit there and experience things with him as he went on. But learning more about him hasn't diminished my enjoyment of him. Anyway, this is turning into a tangent about that. But anyway, yeah, I just don't understand that element. And if you do understand, please share with me the argument of why he needs to be mysterious, because it doesn't make any sense to me, as I have explained. What else? I have to say the pacing of the episode really got me excited. I kept making dumb faces. I could feel it. Like, oh no, I'm doing a stupid grin, or my mouth's half open in excitement because I don't know what's going to happen and what's going to, like when I saw the episode was called The Tragedy, when I saw that they really were atop Tython, when I saw they made planetfall on Tython, when I saw they got to the Seeing Stone on Tython, like each of these things made me more anxious to see what was going to happen. And partially because I, no spoilers or whatever, but I wasn't expecting Boba Fett until next season. I thought he'd come back next season. I wasn't expecting for them to get to Tython until next season. I thought, oh, this isn't going to happen. It's just going to drag out. Something's going to happen on their way there. Gideon's going to come. He's going to abduct him. By the way, speaking about looking forward, no, I liked how it set us up. Everything went smoothly. It was going really easy. Things were good. Grogu and Mando were sharing some laughs, and there was love between father and son, and just like everything was good. And then boom, we get this. He's at the Seeing Stone. We hear the ship landing. I think it was it was first the Slave One, and then it was the next ship, and then the next ship, and then the shot from space destroying the Razor Crest. Like each of these things ratcheted up, and then meanwhile, I think not until the Razor Crest had been blown up was Grogu out of his trance at the Seeing Stone and able to become vulnerable again. I really thought, I don't know that I like the Skybeam thing, the force field that came around Grogu. Like that, it just seems off. It seems weird. It doesn't seem very Star Warsy to me. And again, I called it a Skybeam because we've seen Skybeams in many movies, and I just don't like the idea of them. For the most part, it's just like a trope. I don't know how I felt about it in this one. I'm uncomfortable. Like it should have been like a dome. Like maybe it went up like like a proportional dome, like a flame almost coming out of the wick that Grogu had become on top of the Seeing Stone. If you get what I'm saying, you've lit a candle, you've watched the flame dance around the wick. Well, the Force aura or whatever could have been the flame dancing around the wick that was Grogu and I guess just Grogu. It's fine. Yeah. Anyway, it's like I don't really know how I felt about that, but like it could have worked had they made it look more like the flame. I think I would have been more okay with that. But whatever. But like to me, despite the fact that Grogu is in Imperial Remnant hands right now, that he's with Moff Gideon, the fact that he sat on that stone for so long, because it felt like a long time, communicates to me that it's very likely that a Jedi did sense him. And a Jedi is on their way, and I wonder if that Jedi is going to be locked into his signal specifically, or his presence in the Force, and he'll be able to hone in on him. And if we're going to get a big surprise, a Jedi showing up next season, I don't think it's going to be this season, again, but next season, and helping either spring him or get him out of, Moff Gideon's possession, or maybe that'll happen this season, and then at some point during the journey, kind of like how Boba Fett jumped on him, like, I've been tracking you for this long. He'll pop up, or she will pop up, and I'm here for Grogu. We communicated some time ago, and you've moved around quite a lot, and it's been difficult to find you, or I was off in the far reaches, or whatever. Just like, hey, I'm here for Grogu. I'm the Jedi that he reached out to. That would be super fascinating to me. And anyway, I just like how many questions were answered. If you think about it, if you go like bit by bit or beat by beat, I should say, there were a lot of questions answered. Like we had that hanging thing of the spur, the sound of the spurs that was supposed to be Boba Fett going to, help Fennec Shand at the end of the Gunslinger last year, or season 1 of Mando, and people, oh, that's Boba Fett, definitely. And then, oh no, Boba Fett doesn't have his armor. Cobb Vanth has it instead. So was it Cobb Vanth? No, it wasn't. It was actually Boba. But does that mean he was wearing his same shoes? I don't know. It didn't sound like it. Anyway, but like we got those things answered, but then we have other questions like, who's this other person coming in? When will they come in? Just there's so much possibility, so much potential. I'm very excited about all this, and I think it's great. I don't know that this was the best episode. It had like a lot of fantastic, amazing action in it, I'll tell you that much. But I don't know that it was the best episode of the season so far, but I'm very excited and very happy about it, and I liked it a lot. And I'm really interested to see what happens in the next 2 episodes and what exactly season 3 holds, because apparently that's already made. By the way, thinking about Boba Fett, thinking about Shand, how she was supposed to be left for dead, how, Boba's been left for dead for years. It was funny. I think Favreau in his in the gallery episodes, or the behind the scenes, that's such a weird thing. The behind the scenes of The Mandalorian, Favreau says that he never had like a full set of toys, so he would just, he'd play with a Jawa and a this or that or whatever. He'd have to make up his own stories with his toys because he just had random stuff left over, basically, or he, couldn't get, all the fancy new stuff as it came out, whatever the cause is. But that he would do these like kind of ad hoc, like, oh, I've got these characters, so I'm going to play with them. Bringing in Boba Fett from the outside, bringing in, and then him having picked up Fennec Shand, and then they're here for this. It has that feel of like, oh, this is what I have to play with, and this is what I'm doing. And I really like what's going on so far with that. And yeah, I really hope if a Jedi pops up next season or this season that it's not somebody we know. I mean, I would love to see Luke. Oh boy, I would love to see Luke. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional just thinking about Luke Skywalker popping up and seeing him in his prime here. That would be so amazing. I've seen pictures of Sebastian Stan, I think is what his name is, the guy who played Winter Soldier, or Bucky, like a lot of you have, I'm sure. And he looks really great as Luke, and that would be super awesome to see. Anyway, I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see. It doesn't need to be Luke. Maybe that detracts in some way from what The Mandalorian is, like I just said about these, spin-offs or these, cast-offs that are being brought together for a really cool story. But I would love to see it be, a different Jedi too, and then know that Grogu's out there somewhere being trained, because if he was trained for like 50 years already, and he's, not talking, and he still, needs help or whatever, needs training and needs focus, I'm fine with his training taking, 100 years or 150 years before he's ready to be like, an adult Yoda as opposed to a baby Yoda. Yeah. Gosh, I don't know what else to say. I feel like I'm ending in a really weird point, but I gotta call it. I gotta go. I gotta end this now, and it's okay. So I would ask that you check out my, like I said, did you comment? You talk to me about why I'm wrong about what was it I was wrong about? Potentially, about like the mystery propelling things, and the mystery being the great thing that makes stuff actually enjoyable. And the more you know about it, the less you enjoy. Because that doesn't work for me. Anyway, so yeah, I'd love an explanation of that, or any comments you have about speculation, or if I caught anything that you didn't and you thought it was cool, let me know. That'd be fun. Again, you can always go to mjmunoz.com. You can contact me there, comment on the post for this, because I have show posts as well as just the audio podcast out there, and you can find the RSS feed and all that good stuff. And you can check out my other podcasts. I've talked a lot about Star Wars. A lot about Star Wars. I've got Swinging Through Comics, where I talk about mostly Marvel Comics, but some other stuff. And I talk about Tokusatsu as well. I have older stuff that's been inactive while I've been doing all this Mando stuff, but pretty soon I'm going to get back to my Tokusatsu roots and talk a bunch about that stuff too. So that's cool. That's, by the way, for you who don't know, it's Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Ultraman, Godzilla, except I don't like the Godzilla type stuff so much, but I'm willing to explore it more. But, don't go looking for my content on Godzilla specifically. At least not in the end of 2020. Anyway, I gotta go, folks. Take care. Until next time.